In the small town of Ravensbrook, nestled between looming forests and fog-shrouded hills, legends of vampires had persisted for generations. Nobody really believed the stories anymore, not truly. Just old wives' tales to scare children into their beds. Or so they thought. Elaine Carter, a 17-year-old with a curious streak and a talent for dismissing superstitions, found herself drawn to the recent rumors swirling around the abandoned Wilkins mansion on the hill. It was a crumbling relic, long deserted since the Wilkins family mysteriously vanished overnight 50 years ago. The house had become a fixture of local ghost stories, lights flickering in the windows at midnight, strange figures seen lurking in the shadows, and an ominous chill that seemed to seep from its cracked walls. Despite her friends' warnings, Elaine's curiosity grew insatiable. One chilly autumn evening, armed with a flashlight in her backpack, she decided to investigate. She knew she shouldn't, especially alone, but the lure of uncovering the truth about the house that had haunted her childhood was too strong. The sun dipped below the horizon as she made her way through the overgrown yard, the grass crunching beneath her sneakers. The door was slightly ajar, groaning softly as she pushed it open. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. Furniture lay in ruins, covered in tattered cloth, and the wallpaper peeled away, revealing gray, peeling plaster beneath. Elaine's flashlight beam danced across the empty halls. As she explored, she felt an unsettling presence, but she shrugged it off. Maybe it was just her imagination, until she heard a faint whispering, like a voice carried on the wind. "Come closer," a voice beckoned, soft yet chilling. Elaine froze, heart pounding. She spun around, but nothing was there. She told herself it was the house playing tricks, the wind slipping through cracks. She pressed on, venturing into what once must have been the ballroom. The room was empty except for a grand, broken mirror leaning against the wall. She peered into it, expecting to see her reflection. Instead, she saw a shadowy figure seated behind her, tall, pale, with piercing eyes that shimmered in the darkness. Elaine whipped around, but the room was empty. Her breath hitched. For a split second, she thought she saw fangs glinting in the mirror's reflection. She shook her head. Just her imagination. Suddenly, a cold gust swept through the room, causing the dust to swirl like a mini tornado. The whispering grew louder, more insistent. "Join us," the voices murmured. Elaine's skin prickled. She whipped out her phone, intending to call her friends for help, but the screen flickered and went dark. Then the whispers turned into a cacophony, voices overlapping, indistinct, maddening. She stumbled back toward the door but found it was stuck. No matter how hard she pushed, it wouldn't budge. Panic surged in her chest. She turned to find a figure emerging from the shadows. It was a man, or at least, that's what he appeared to be. Tall, gaunt, with blood-red lips twisted into a grim smile. His eyes shone with a sinister glow, and his skin was unnaturally pale, almost translucent. He moved with a deliberate, unnatural grace, like a predator stalking its prey. "You shouldn't come here," he rasped, voice raspy yet smooth as velvet. "The house remembers." Elaine backed away, trembling, her eyes darting for a way out. The figure's grin widened, revealing sharp, elongated fangs that glinted like knives. You're a vampire," she stammered, voice trembling. He chuckled softly, a low, chilling sound. "Indeed. We've been here since the night the Wilkins vanished. Waiting. Watching." Suddenly, the ceiling cracked, and an unsettling cold seeped into her bones. As she turned to run, the vampire lunged forward with jaw open in a predatory snarl. She screamed, the sound echoing through the empty halls, until she found herself somewhere else entirely. Elaine gasped, disoriented, as she emerged from the house into the early dawn light. She was outside the mansion, the front door gently swinging closed behind her on its own. Her heart hammered in her chest, and she inhaled sharply, trying to make sense of what just transpired. But beneath her fear, she knew, the legends weren't just stories. The Wilkins house was a trap, a place where the vampires lingered, waiting for the next curious soul to stumble inside. She hurried down the hill, her mind racing to dismiss what she'd seen. But as she looked back at the house one last time, she saw a pair of glowing red eyes peering from the shattered window, watching her leave. From that day on, Elaine never dared return. But sometimes, late at night, She'd hear faint whispers echoing in her dreams, calling her back, enticing her with secrets too dark to ignore. And she knew that somewhere in the shadows, the vampires still watched, and waited for their next victim.